we survey the grand sweep of Catholic literature, we find represented there a rather wide range of genres. We have everything from theology and philosophy to theatrical scripts, poetry, and novels. There are sermons and essays, histories, hagiographies, but perhaps the most interesting Catholic literary genre is that of the conversion story. In this series of short videos, I'm going to introduce you to a number of very compelling conversion stories drawn from both ancient and modern sources. We will begin by looking at the earliest conversion story, that of the Apostle Paul, as told in the book of Acts, as well as Christianity's most influential conversion story, the Confessions of St. Augustine. We will also study St. Teresa of Avila's autobiography, the Apologia pro vita sua of Blessed John Henry Newman, Thomas Merton's best-selling classic, The Seven-Story Mountain, and two collections of lesser-known conversion stories, one from former Protestants who became Catholic, and one from Jewish converts to the Catholic faith. I'll conclude the series by sharing my own, perhaps not quite so literary, conversion story. But before we delve into the literature itself, I want to spend a little time looking at this important genre. Just what is a conversion story? A conversion story is typically a first-person account of life both before and after a conversion experience, as well as a thorough description of the conversion experience itself. So what then is a conversion experience? A conversion experience, as we'll define it here, is a religiously transformative event, epistemic at the core, but that also involves the whole person. That's a mouthful, I know, but let's unpack it a bit. To say an experience is both religiously transformative and epistemic is to say that it is an experience, or in most cases of conversion, a series of experiences, that causes a change to one's thinking on matters pertaining to faith. So, for example, an atheist thinks there is no God, then has an experience, or a series of experiences, that causes him to think, oh, there must be a God after all. Or a non-Catholic Christian believes the Catholic Church to be in error, then has an experience, or series of experiences, and as a result, she is led to say, oh, the Catholic Church is the true Church of Christ after all. Conversion experiences like these, and all the stories we're looking at in this series fall under that latter category, they are epistemic at the core because they involve foundational changes in the way we think, in what we believe to be true, right, and good. In short, a conversion experience is an experience that changes our worldview, that changes the horizon within which we understand ourselves and by which we evaluate the world around us. But a conversion experience is not just a head thing, it's also a heart thing. True and lasting conversion involves the whole person. It changes our emotional profile. It changes the way we feel, the way we relate, the way we love. And these changes in turn lead to changes in character. Conversion experiences erase entire histories of bad choices, enlisting the memory, as St. Augustine pointed out, to build out a whole new arsenal of values and intentions. So the study we have before us is the study of these conversion experiences as told by those who have experienced them. By tradition, stories of this type fall under a form of writing known as apologia. Apologia is a Greek word that means a speech of self-defense. Conversion stories are often composed for that very reason. They are written in response to false accusation or criticism, with the story serving as an act of self-vindication. We read in Acts 26, for example, that when St. Paul was accused by the Jews of violating the law, he shared his conversion story as a way of defending himself. St. Teresa wrote her autobiography in response to the suggestion from some of her confessors that she might be mentally unstable. Newman furiously penned his Apologia to restore his reputation after his integrity had been questioned by a prominent churchman. And the contemporary stories we'll be looking at are apologias in their own right. They each strive to explain to questioning family and friends why there has been such change in their religious convictions. Now, apologia sounds like the more familiar term apologetic, and the two are related, but we need to distinguish them a bit. An apologetic uses logical argument and evidence to build out a reasoned defense of the faith. Its aim is to persuade. An apologia, or conversion story, involves the sharing of experience. Its aim is to inform. Of course, experience, especially religious experience, has a logic of its own, and its persuasive power is undeniable. In fact, many find apologia to be more persuasive than apologetic. This was the conclusion secular historian Ramsay MacMullen came to in his book, Christianizing the Roman Empire. MacMullen's thesis is that the Christian church came to overtake the religions of Rome not because it had a better argument, but because it had a more powerful experience to offer. The church grew in popularity despite horrible persecution, largely because people shared their stories of conversion. They were amazed by what God had done for them, and they wanted others to share that same experience. All of this is to say that of all the genres of Catholic literature, the conversion story is one of the most compelling forms of religious writing. And it is so because beyond their intriguing theological and psychological insights, beyond the amazing supernatural experiences they narrate, conversion stories are, at the end of the day, love stories. Only instead of boy meets girl, it's boy or girl meets God in a church, an amazing church, and life is never the same after that. Nor are we for having read them. For New Ardor, I'm Tom Carr. May the grace of God dispel your darkness, enlighten your intellect, and inflame your heart.